Hi, everybody. It's Ken Varga. Hey, this is exciting. At 74 years old, I'm doing webinars. In my greatest dreams, I would have never thought it was possible. I mean, it's just incredible what technology is today and everything. And it's just fascinating. But I'm going to show you one of the ideas. I'm not a professional, so a presenter like this here. So forgive me if I err along the way as we're doing this, as I'm sharing this. But I am highly creative in showing individuals like you guys how to create customers. And the meetup one is just the first one of many that I'll be doing over the next year. But some of you haven't heard about Meetup, so I'm going to educate you and show you how you could use Meetup to create prospects. Uh, I want you to hold off all your questions till the end. That's important. And then I'll be answering any of your questions towards the end. But I want everybody to have a pad and pen handy to take down notes. Now, all of you will be getting a copy of the recording of this webinar. So as you get it, you'll be able to, when you have a question, try to remember the time that I mentioned something that you had a question on. And this way, when you're playing it back, when you come to that time period, you can pause it and write down anything that you ever want to do. So don't get stressed out as we go through this, because you will be getting a recording on this, but it will be helpful. I'll hesitate a little bit so that you can write down a lot of the stuff that will be going. Uh, anyway, some of you haven't heard of Meetup. Meetup to me is one of the most fascinating concepts of network marketing that there is. But what I'm going to show you today is how to get an appointment with up to 55% of the people that you meet and communicate with in your Meetup groups. And you don't physically have to be there for this to happen. All right, so let's get started here. And here's just a small bio about myself. I hate talking about myself, but as most of you know, I created 35 businesses and over 6 million customers. All right. I try to help individuals like yourself find and acquire more customer, keep more of the customers you have, implement marketing strategies and marketing methods to build your business. And I've written a couple of books. When you get a chance, just go to www.kenvarga.com and you can read more about me and my books and what have you. So that's enough about me. All right. Now, what you need to do when you're going to go into Meetup, I'm going to ask you to open up a new browser, in your browser, and type in meetup.com. And then this is what would show up. Now you want to click on the red sign up button on the top right to create a profile. Now you could either sign up with Facebook or Google if you got accounts there, or you could fill in the information on your own if you want to use a different email than you have on Facebook or Google. But the key thing here is, in today's day and age, passwords, I have an Excel spreadsheet. I never thought I would have so many damn passwords in my life. Unfortunately, I do, and therefore you want to always remember these. So write it down after you complete the sign up. But you want to input your name, email address, password, and then click on sign up. And again, like I said, you could sign up also through Facebook and or Google. And this is what would show up. This is my profile that I have. All right? So you'll be prompted to add your profile picture. You want to do that. Personal information, interests, social media links, and bio information. And this is important. And you can always edit it at a later time. So don't stress out on it. Now, the first thing that's going to come up is this picture. And this is all the categories of different groups that are on Meetup. Meetup automatically creates an account for you for arts and career and business. If you're into religion, you want to click on the plus sign for beliefs. If you're into book reading, book clubs, dance, family, If you're single, you want to do food and drink and social. You want to do health and wellness, sports and fitness. If you're into LGBT groups, you want to have that. If you do outdoor stuff and adventures, you want to press on a plus sign for that. But you want to select the interests you may have by clicking on them so that Meetup can recommend groups, as we're going to see now, based on your interests. And you can always select additional ones later. So now after you've selected those plus signs, these are the things that are going to come up. So what you want to do, you want to put a check mark in the boxes that apply to you, that your interests are. So you want to go right through here and then do them all, do as many as you want. It doesn't really matter. It just narrows everything down. Now it gives you a list of recommended Meetup groups. So now you want to click on the plus sign, all right, for the groups that you would be interested in joining. Now, I'm going to suggest that you join at least 30 Meetup groups. And the reason is I'm going to show you a message later to welcome new members of Meetup groups. And the reason I want you to be on 30 of them is because not every day does a new member join the groups. So if a new member, if you get to that group and a new member didn't join, well, you just skip to the next one. And I'll go over that in greater detail later. So again, click on the plus sign of at least 30 of the groups that you have an interest for. Then it's going to click on add me, and you just click on add me, and then they're going to ask you to join a group. Then you're going to click on more groups, and you want to pick on a few groups, and then it has the next sign on the top. So there's two different things that might happen. If it has a next sign, a next button on the top right-hand side, when you're asked to click the plus sign, then automatically it'll add the 30 groups when you click the next. The other way, if it doesn't have the plus sign and the next on the top, then you have to join the groups individually. So here you got the groups. You want to create your profile, which you click on profile on the top right-hand side, and this is what's going to come up. You can change your interest and profile at any time, all right? Now, if you want to do FaceTime, just log in with FaceTime to create your profile. You can also link your social media accounts to Twitter, Flickr, Tumblr, whatever they all are that you could do. You simply check the box next to the social media link you want to add, and it'll prompt you for the username and password to associate with your Meetup account. And then you click on submit, all right, to save the changes that you're doing. All right, now, after you create your profile, you want to click on Find a Meetup Group. When you click on Find a Meetup Group, this is what's going to show up. So in my situation, it just shows 30 groups, 3 groups that I joined. In your situation, it'll show 30. If you want to delete other groups, join other groups, right below those groups it says Suggested Meetups. That's where you want to click on for additional groups. So this is where your Meetup groups are showing. And after you create your profile and pre-selecting your groups, you can find more specific groups to join. So see, I've got business circles. You can type in business, and it'll bring up specific business groups. If your marketplace is females, women, type in women. If it's medical, type in medical. I suggest very strongly that every one of you try to join ethnic groups that you of your ethnicity. So if you're Italian, you want to type in Italian, Spanish, Spanish, etc. And then you want to make sure it's clicked on 50 miles of your town. If it's not clicked on the 50 miles, you want to click on the 50. It might be 5 miles. Click on the number and then change it to 50. But that's important for you to do, all right? Anyway, you can join additional groups at some other times by clicking on business. Remember, I just had it circled, and these are more business networking groups. So you want to just click on them and then join them. You click on join us, the red button on the top right. It tells you that there's 334 members, and there'll be a description of the group and the number of members there. If the group looks like it has potential prospects for you, click on join us to join the group. Once you do that, you want to click on find a meetup in the top left to then see all the meetup groups that you've joined. All right. So right up there, you want to click on find a meetup group, and that'll bring you down here. Now that you've joined the groups, you can now start communicating with the members in those groups. I mean, this is really exciting because individuals in my coaching program are telling me, well, I'll go over that in a minute. All right. I mean, you're going to be excited by the number of responses that you're going to get just simply by having yourself, or as I'm going to have John get on a little bit later and tell you about the virtual assistants. But I mean, it's just fascinating what can be done here. All right. So now you want to click on a group. So we're going to click on the Monmouth Ocean group that you belong to. And this is what's going to show up. And then you're going to want to click on members. So you want to be writing this down. In order to send messages to the groups, you want to click on the group. Then you want to click on the icon that says members on the very top. All right. Then it's going to come up, and now in the middle of the page, it says date joined. This will bring you to the new member who has just recently joined. So now you want to click on Rob's name. So now you click on Rob's name, and it shows the individuals in chronological order. All right. Now I just want you to do 10 welcome messages per day, 1 in each group. And the reason, again, for doing 30 groups is because not every day do you have a new member join. So now what you do is you click on the new member, Rob's name, and this is what's going to show up. Now you click on message. All right? And then this is the message. So take a moment and write it down. And again, try to remember the time where it's at for this recording so that when you get the recording, you'll be able to come back and say it. But the welcome message is, hi, Rob. I would like to take a moment to welcome you as a fellow member of our Meetup group. On Meetup, we are here to help each other with ideas and referrals. Please tell me a little about yourself and who your ideal referral would be, so that when I see someone like that, I will refer them to you. My personal email is, and type your email, have a great day, type your name and your phone number. Now, this welcome message, you want to put on a Word document. You might want to create a Ken Varga folder on your desktop so that you could download the document into that. But every time you're going to do the welcome message, you're just going to copy it. You're going to go to the message, and you're going to call it the Meetup welcome message, and you're going to copy it so that all you have to do when you're going through it is to paste the 10 messages in each of the groups. Now, a lot of the groups are not business related. They're social related. So for those groups, you just want to change the second paragraph where it should read, on Meetup, we are here to help each other with ideas and referrals. Please tell me a little about yourself. Leave off and who your ideal referral would be, so that when I see someone like that, I will refer them to you. And then do the rest of it. So again, on the social ones, they're not there for referrals. They're there to meet each other and share ideas and do different things. But this here, welcome message, sets you apart from other members of the group. Nobody else in that group is sending off a welcome message to a member of that group except you. And that's important and critical. But it asks them for where their ideal referral would be, so you can refer them business, but it encourages reciprocity. It opens up a dialogue where you, once they respond back to you, all right, where you communicate with them, and people, it's all about building relationships. Building relationships develop into trust, and trust develops into sales. So now you click on messages, and now you're going to type in, "Hi, Rob." Go to hit the return twice, right click, and paste your message. And this is what's going to happen. All right? And then you click on send the message. Now, again, I'm going to take a moment for you just to write down the message. And again, if even after you get the recording, at the end of this session, I'm going to give you my personal email. If you're having difficulties and you need me to go over with you the welcome message, just send me an email with your question, and I'll respond back to you with the answer. So again, now you go into the next group. You click on Find on the top left, and now you click on the next one. All right, you go back to the list of members. All right, they joined. You could do the Rob. You're not going to want to do, when you have 30 groups like that, you always want to keep track of who you send it to. But I'm going to suggest that you just send, in some groups, there could be 10 people that just joined in that day. You don't want to send it to the 10 members. You just want to send it to one individual in each group. Even if there's 10 members, new members, just send it to one member. Because excessive messaging, as I'm saying, as it shows below, can cause your Meetup account to be disabled. They don't publish the daily limit. All right? I personally think that there's about 30, but you'd be safe with just 10 of them per day. All right, so then you click on Rob again. You'll click on Find on the top left, and then it'll give you the next group to join. You click on Find again, like top left, then you click on the next group, and then you do the welcome message to that group and what have you. But besides doing this, I have found that face-to-face contact with individuals always result in sales, and it builds trust. So I would gonna suggest that you attend at least one of your meetup groups per week. And you could click on find upcoming meetups by clicking on Find, then Calendar. And like you see down here, it shows all the different meetup groups and their dates of meetings. So it's important that you look at that. And by default, it'll display meetups to groups which you belong and your interests, all right? And you want to attend a physical group. So you can click on the 60 meetups in your group, and you can find out where they're at. You know, I have number of meetups on top, but you click on the meetups in your groups. You can click on all meetups nearby, which will give you all meetups in every one. And you could add in a keyword search right there where it shows business for meetups related to a specific keyword. For example, business. So this will show you the different areas and what have you. So you just click on it and on the event to find out more information and to sign up if you wanted to go. And they do have a limit of seating capacity. So in order to attend, the actual meetup, you click on join and RSVP. If it's a meetup group that you're already involved in, all right, it'll just say RSVP. And that'll be key for you to sign up to go to the group. Now, here's some tips. All right, I want to teach you a little bit about when you're attending the meetup groups about networking. I need you to write this down. When you introduce yourself to somebody and say, hi, my name is Ken. John, tell me a little bit about yourself. All right? Then ask them if they need referrals. If they say yes, then ask them who would be their ideal referral. And I hope you're writing all this down. Again, it's going to be in the recording that you're going to get. But indicate to them that when you see someone like that, you will refer them to them. Now, it's critical and important. Words make such a big difference in attracting individuals to have a wow effect where they have to say, can I have one of those? So you don't want to introduce yourself, I'm a business owner, just like every other business owner does. All right? So let's say that you're a website developer. And you don't want to introduce yourself as a website developer. That's blasé, it's blah. But if you say to them, John, I am a profit detective. I help business owners like you increase your profits and revenues by making your web presence and website more productive in creating more prospects for you to sell to. I mean, isn't that so much better? And then all you have to do is say, would you like me to show you how? That's all you need to add. But if you're having difficulties in creating this, here's my email, write it down, KENPBG, peterboygirl @AOL.com. And we'll arrange a quick time for a phone call, and I'll go over this with you. And we'll create something that will have a wow effect where the individual will say, John, can you help me do that? That would be great. All right? So these are the various benefits of using Meetup. It's really an inexpensive way of building your pipeline and building your community. You got more prospective clients by joining groups and sending new connections. You have a systematic way of doing lead generation, and it increases your referrals from your new connections. Here's the most fascinating part about what I just showed you. This figure I'm going to show you now is actual figures from the subscribers to my coaching program. They're getting a 6 to 8% response rate, which means that if you send out 100 messages per month, which is 10 a day, all right, which is every 10 days, every 10 days you're going to get 6 or 8 prospects to talk to about your product and your business. That is just absolutely fascinating. Anyway, this tells you a little bit about my coaching program, but what would it be worth for you to receive step-by-step instructions where I hold your hand on how to get an avalanche of new clients? Every month, you get a new module with a new strategy that you're going to implement. You're going to want to print up the module and put it in the Ken Varga folder. And what you're going to do, all right, which is, to me, one of the most critical parts. is attend the conference calls we have once a month. They are so fascinating. Every month, I give you new ideas for creating customers. And you'll be with other business owners. But that's the value of this program. All right, there's almost $5,000 in value for the coaching program. All right. Now, it's just $20 a month. But I will guarantee you, after you sign up and we have our first phone call, that if you don't feel it's worth the $20, you just let me know and I'll return the $20 to you. I will show you constantly new ways of creating 10 to 25 new prospects per month. So when you sign up, we're going to arrange a phone call and I'll spend an hour with you almost showing you how to create an additional, besides the meetup, 6 to 8 per 100, all right, 10 to 25 new prospects per month. So to sign up, all you need to do is to go to www.buildyourbusinessfast.com. Again, I guarantee you that after you receive the first module and after you talk to me, that if you don't feel that it's worth the $20, I'll return the $20 to you. Now, everything I've gone over is really very, very easy to implement. All right? If you're not going to be able to do it alone, you know, right now you might think you're overwhelmed. But what you really need is a virtual assistant to help you generate prospects and to help you generate prospects and set up appointments without you having to spend all the time to do it. So along with this seminar, what I've done, webinar, that's what it is called, with this webinar, I've associated with the same virtual assistant company that I use right now. And I'm going to just say that I've been using a virtual assistant for many years, and I've found them to be absolutely very useful. And they can help you grow your network, your number of prospects, by sending the welcome messages. They can set up appointments for you to manage your calendar. They can create and send out your newsletters. They can manage your contacts and email marketing. They can update your website content, and blog. They can manage all your social media. All you have to do is find out, when you talk to them, just find out what you need to be done, that you do, that is laborious to you, that someone else could be doing at a lower dollar figure so that you could be out there making sales. But they could increase your website traffic and search ranking, which to me is one of the most critical things around. And at this point, what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce John Davern, and he'll take over from this point on and show you how Virtual Assistant could really, really help you. VAs create prospects for you to present your product to.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ken. It's great to be on the call. And you know, I've been part of your coaching program for probably well over 4 years. And a little bit about my background is.
John,
Yep.
Is your picture showing up? Your slide?
Let's see here. Check here. Let me make sure.
Because I hit my escape button, and I don't see yours coming up yet.
Let me go ahead and make sure that I am the presenter. I'm going to show my screen and switch over to my presentation.
Ah, there you go. Now I can see it.
Okay, good. Yeah, so Ken, you've been using our virtual assistants for probably 4 or 5 years, and I've been a part of your coaching program as well. And a little bit about my background. My background is in human resources. So I've worked in HR, corporate human resources for over 20 years, and I've worked with multiple Fortune 500 companies, including General Electric, Harris Corporation, Home Depot, Toyota, General Motors joint venture. I'm out here in Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area, and I've had to fill thousands of job openings and train thousands of employees. But one of the things, this is back during the real estate boom, probably 2005, 2006 timeframe. I was working for Home Depot, and I was an HR manager there, working 55 hours a week. And one of the things about being in a home improvement store is even though I had no home improvement background, just by working for Home Depot, I had that confidence that I could fix houses, flip them, put new carpeting in, paint it, and lipstick and rouge, and flip houses. I just had that confidence, and at that time, real estate was really booming, and I wanted to get involved in real estate investing and be an entrepreneur. And so what I started doing was I created my own real estate business. I put up my own real estate website. I was sending out thousands of postcards, and I found that I was I was trying to manage my corporate job, working 55, 60 hours a week, but then also starting my own business and being an entrepreneur. And a lot of people, they start their own business because they have that dream that they want to have be able to spend more time with their family. And for me, I don't know if anybody has heard of that book, Timothy Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week, but I was getting maybe 4 hours of sleep today, and it got so bad that if I was getting 3.5 hours of sleep, I was, oh wow, well that's better than 2 hours of sleep. And fortunately, though, what happened is through that whole process of starting my own real estate business, I was introduced to the idea of having a virtual assistant that could do some of that workload for me. And especially since I was working that corporate job, it was really difficult for me to do the corporate job and then manage the tasks related to my real estate business. When people would call in response to my postcards, I was missing calls because I was in a meeting dealing with an employee relations issue. And so fortunately, I got introduced to the concept of having a virtual assistant. I hired my first virtual assistant back in 2006 to do the repetitive tasks of going on Craigslist and posting that I buy houses or I'm looking for houses to buy, and going through all the ads that people post who are interested in selling their homes. And my first real estate deal that I did was actually it was a wholesale deal that my virtual assistant found on Craigslist, and I presented that deal to the president of my real estate investment club. And so what happened was I did some more deals. People in my real estate investment club found out that I had the virtual assistant. That's how I was doing it, and that evolved into what we have now, which is virtual assistant talent. And since then, I've hired and trained and managed hundreds of virtual assistants. Now, part of my background, if people ask me, what do I do? I help business owners grow their business and get a better work-life balance without having to put all their own time into trying to grow their business. And I do that through looking for business solutions and taking a look at people's businesses and what work needs to be done to run their business and what work needs to be done to grow their business. And then I assess, can it be done remotely and virtually? And that all has the goal to help save you time and save you money and help you scale. That's really what I do. And what we're doing, here today with the Meetup program is really kind of the same thing. One of the things I work for Toyota General Motors joint venture, and big thing there is whenever you got into your job, you take a look at what tasks are you doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and we were always required to document and create a standardized work of how we were doing those tasks. And that's really exactly what we do, what I do with virtual assistant talent, is assessing, hey, what are the repetitive tasks that you have to do? What needs to be done in your business? You document that, and you look at, can you outsource that to a virtual assistant? Because we can't do everything. So virtual assistant talent, it's if you don't know what a virtual assistant is, it's a remote or online worker, somebody who works from home, and I specialize in particular in providing world-class virtual assistants from the Philippines, and that was founded in 2009. So I'm located in Silicon Valley, but my team is located in the Philippines. And I've employed hundreds of Philippines-based virtual assistants. And as Ken mentioned before, they do all different types of things. If it can be done remotely, we can do it. So a lot of people hire us to provide digital marketing, SEO, social media, content writing, blogging, designing of their website, graphic design, lead gen, so forth, data entry, administrative tasks. If it can be done remotely, it's something we can do. And our website is virtualassistanttalent.com. It has our phone number there if you have any questions as well for us. Now today, we're talking about the Meetup task, and that's a task that takes time. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you could be doing out there to help grow and scale your business, but you only have so much time. And I was looking, I mentioned to you my scenario when I was working my corporate job, working over 55 hours a week and trying to start my own business and put up my own website and send postcards out. It would just got worse and worse, my work-life balance, and I was going to work at 9 a.m., but I was staying up till 1 in the morning, then 2 in the morning, then 3 in the morning, then 4 in the morning. It just got worse and worse. And I was looking at a Inc. article, and it says that majority of entrepreneurs in the survey are working more than 60 hours a week. And they put that article out in 2006, and then they put that article out in 2014, and the statistic was the same. So things have not changed with entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are hard workers. We do what it takes to grow our business. But one of the things that I found when I hired a virtual assistant is I went through, I standardized the work for all the different tasks that I was doing in my business that could be done by somebody else. And that's when I started to see a change in my lifestyle, where I had a better work-life balance. I was able to spend more time with my family, have a healthier lifestyle, make sure I exercise, make sure I'm using the Bowflex, and, staying in shape, eating healthy, waking up in the morning. Imagine if you could wake up in the morning and have somebody that's already done the majority of the marketing for your business, or if we're looking at the Meetup task, that's already done by the time that you've waken up. It takes a lot of the burden off of you. It helps to generate more prospects and clients, and helps lift that burden and increase your revenue and really transform your life and business, which is something that it's done for me. There's no way that I would have been able to grow my real estate business, or now even my virtual assistant business, which is run by virtual assistants. The website, the marketing, the newsletter, all these are different things that we've been able to standardize the work and have the virtual assistant team do. And today, in talking about Meetup, if you see the task that Ken said, it's a technique that works. And as I mentioned before, I've been part of Ken's coaching program for probably, almost as long as he's used our VA services. And one of the techniques that I learned from Ken, we're still doing that same technique. I've got a virtual assistant doing that for probably 3 or 4 years now, and it's a technique that still works. So with this, we created the Virtual Assistant Done For You Starter Package for Meetup.com. And basically, what the Virtual Assistant does is helps you set up your Meetup account, just how Ken showed you. They're going to create your Meetup.com profile by understanding about you, what is your business, who's your avatar, who are the people that you're trying to contact and convert into clients. And The daily activity that they would be doing 5 days a week would be to join 6 meetup groups per day containing your potential clients. And then what they would do is send one welcome message per group. So as they've joined the 30 groups, they're going to be sending one welcome message per group across 30 groups. That's 30 messages per day. So on a weekly basis, they've joined the 30 groups. And then what they're going to do, which does take time, is to monitor and replace groups as needed with groups that have a better responsiveness and activity. So if one group is not doing so well, maybe there's not that many new people joining, or the new people that are joining are not responding to your welcome message that you're sending to them, the VA can adjust and tweak that and join different groups. So on a weekly basis, you would be potentially sending out 150 welcome messages. Now, as Ken mentioned, not every group is going to have a new member each day, so it might be a little bit less than that, but that's something that the VA can monitor and tweak if a group is not active enough. And then when you're getting positive responses from people, the VA will then monitor and notify you of the positive responses, so that way you can follow up on it. Now, as you look at, and Ken touched on this as well, there's a lot of different things that you can do for your business. You could do the Meetup task yourself. You could answer all your phone calls yourself. You could do all your social media. You could write content. But anytime that you're assessing, what tasks, value-added tasks should you be doing versus hiring somebody else to do, you should always take a look at what is your earning power, and what is the best use of your time, based on that earning power. So if you look at the Meetup task, if you're very efficient, if you're fast, if you do it right, you could probably do 30 groups maybe in an hour. If you're fast, you're doing it efficiently. And so let's say you're on a daily basis spending an hour a day on weekdays. And I've pulled up some information. This is most of this is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and also payscale.com. But let's say if you're an insurance agent and you're in the middle range for an insurance agent, it suggests by the Bureau of Labor Statistics that you're earning approximately, if you're average, $23 per hour. If you're on a monthly basis, that would be $460. If you're spending time on Meetup and you look at, okay, do I want to be spending time in Meetup, or should I be out there talking to people or meeting with customers? Real estate agent, $19.71 per hour, $394 a month. A small business owner, wide range on that, but average small business owner, $28 per hour. And if you were spending an hour a day, 5 days a week, and on a monthly basis, that would convert to $569. Social Security puts out a statistic, National Wage Index of average worker, $22 an hour. Now, that's kind of looking, and I do this too, any time that I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do something versus somebody else, I always look at what's my time worth. What could I be spending my time doing to grow my business versus outsourcing or hiring somebody else to do it. And it even comes to something as simple as yard work, cutting trees, in the backyard, maintaining the lawn. How much can I hire somebody to do that? Now, there's certain things I do because I enjoy it. If I do want to do a little bit of yard work, sure, I'll do it. But if I'm going to spend 8 or 10 hours putting sod in my lawn, no, it may not be worth my time. So there's certain things that you would hire somebody to do if you have the budget. And if you look at a marketing assistant, which is somebody, an office-based marketing assistant, could do your Meetup task. Average rate for that, $16.91 per hour. Really kind of depends also geographically where you're located, or $338 a month. Or an admin assistant, office-based admin assistant, you could assign to do this task, $14.85 an hour, $297 a month. So this is the kind of how you determine what you do, what's your time worth versus hiring somebody else. Now, what I'll show you in the next slide is the virtual assistant being an even lower cost solution than any of these. And Ken, you've been using the virtual assistant for well over four to 5 years with our company. What's been your experience with that?
Well, each month what I do, John, is I take what it cost me for the virtual assistant, and then because I'm always results oriented, and then I relate it to the profit that came in. And my return on investment by using your services has been this past month 327%. So I mean, it's always been in about the 300% mark for as long as I could remember. And every month we keep fine tuning it.
Great. Yeah, and it's really something that can change your business. And when you look at these different types of tasks, especially a repetitive task like Meetup, it's something that works really well. If you look at the cost of your time, let's say if you were going to do the Meetup task on your own and you placed a value on your time, if you were doing it versus having somebody else, this is how much it could cost you based on some of those statistics that I put up there. Or if you hire an office-based worker, monthly base. Now, the Meetup package, if you wanted to have somebody else do this for you, we've standardized the work. We've come up with a program that does exactly what Ken showed you. The weekly cost of that would be $49 a week, or if you looked at it on a monthly basis, $196 a month. And what they're going to do, they're going to create that profile for you. They're going to go into the account on a daily basis and monitor your 30 groups, send the welcome message to new people in each of the groups, and they're going to limit it to try to avoid the account getting shut down. So you got to be careful you don't send too many messages. But then switching out the groups and making sure that you're in groups that are performing and that have new people joining. Now there's a discount or promo code that's going to take the cost down to $44 a week or $160 a month. That's available, which is we've got different payment pricing plans. If you wanted to just test this out on a weekly basis, if you apply promo code KEN5, that's $44 a week. If you wanted to pay bi-weekly, there's a promo code KEN10, $88 bi-weekly, or monthly, promo code KEN20 for that. And if you look at the overall cost, it's 40% less than an office admin, and you're really getting a highly qualified person that handles the task for you, that's typically college degreed and has held pretty impressive jobs in the corporate world and is seasoned in home-based work as well. The promo code's a limited time, so if you sign up by September 30th, it's going to apply to the first 2-month service. After that, it goes to the regular price, but if you looked at your savings, it's a $40 savings. So this program is, this is something we've standardized the work. It's a task for Meetup that you do it over and over again. It gets you a return. And I can tell you, one of the other techniques that I've learned from Ken several years ago, I'm still doing that technique, and it's still bringing a return from me. And he's tweaked it. He's changed it. Certain things you have to change a little bit over time, and we tweak it to make sure that it continues to work. So to sign up for the starter package for Meetup, you can go to virtualassistanttalent.com/meetup. And if you have any questions, you can shoot us an email or call us. There's the phone number there. Go to virtualassistanttalent.com/meetup. Ken's coaching program, as I mentioned, I've been part of that program for well over 4 years. It really is the missing link, for my business and for my programs that I have. Anytime that I'm trying to decide what can I do to market my business, what can I do to attract customers, what can I do to retain customers, this program really makes the difference between success or failure. Because you could send out marketing copy, to a bunch of different people, but if it's not good copy, it's not going to convert. Or you could get a bunch of customers, but if you don't have good processes in place to retain those customers, your business is just not going to make it. And that's the beauty of the coaching program. Is you've got a resource in Ken that can help you in tweaking your messages, that can help you out with your business problems, and I don't know of a better value or a person to go to than, with Ken in terms of having that type of resource to go to if you're stuck on something or if you need help. So that's why the coaching program and the VA services complement each other perfectly. So you can go to his website, buildyourbusinessfast.com, to sign up for the coaching program as well.
John, can I just interrupt
Yes.
you here a moment?
Yeah.
One of the key critical things here is that each month in the coaching program, on the conference call and also the modules, again, a lot of them are simple things that have to be done on a monthly basis. And again, an individual that's listening has got to understand what is the value of their time. The value of their time is much greater being in front of people and creating sales. So, the virtual assistants can implement the different strategies that I've mentioned on the conference calls every single month. All you have to do is, whoever your virtual assistant is to tell them and show them how to do what you want them to do. So that I just wanted to leave it with that, John.
Well, thanks, Ken. Yeah, and at this point, so just as you look here, if you're interested in signing up for the VA program, there's different payment options depending on your budget, or if you want to test it out, it's $44 a week or $176 a month if you're using that promo code, which is, if you sign up before the end of the month, it's valid for your first 2 months of service. And one last thing, some people will ask, well, what if we want the VA to do other things for us, or what if we don't just want to do meetup.com? We have other things that the VA could do for us. Maybe you need somebody to answer your phones, you do telemarketing calls, or you need them to help the website, or you just want to incorporate Meetup and do a bunch of other tasks. We can help you with that as well. Other VA services, the way that this works is, if you have a non-technical VA, somebody that's an admin assistant, social media or content or research or data entry, maybe they're doing telemarketing. We had non-technical VAs starting at $8.20 per hour. I say starting at $8.20 per hour because it's also based on the talent that you're getting and their experience, but generally speaking, $8.20 an hour is kind of the start rate. And you can really choose from what does your business need, 10 hours a week, 15, 20, 40 hours a week. And you prepay, and you have a bank of hours that VA works, and that draws from your prepaid balance. And we monitor the VAs for time and attendance, so they log into a screen capturing program, and when they're logged into that screen capturing program, we know how many hours that they're working, and as they work those hours, that gets deducted from your prepaid balance. I have a human resource person that monitors them for time and attendance, and we also have customer service and client reps and project managers that monitor for quality, so that if you're not getting a good quality or there's an issue with the VA, we intervene, we can swap out the VA for somebody else. Having a good VA and a not so good VA really can make the difference, and that's where we add that HR expertise to make sure you have a performing VA. Technical VAs to do web design, maintenance, graphics, IT, and programming. Price point at that, they're paid a little higher. That starts at $11.20 an hour, and again, what you do is you just decide, well, what's my business need? How many hours a week do I think I'm going to need that person? And you prepay, and it deducts from that balance. Our program, you can cancel at any time, and we refund the balance. There's no specific contracts that you have to sign up for. But if you're interested in more of this, where you've got some customized needs for your business, you can go to virtualassistanttalent.com or give us a call or sign up to learn more. So that's really what I wanted to share with you today, and I'm going to turn it back over to Ken, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay, I just want to thank everybody for being on the webinar here. And again, it's exciting at 74 years old, I'm capable and able to do this. It's just fascinating. I noticed quite a number of attendees have their hand up in the air. I believe that was when they were responding to your request, John. So if they could delete the hand up in the air, and anybody that has any questions now, we'll leave it open. Just click in the button there to for your hand to be up, and then we'll unmute you. And then,
So let,
is that the way it's done?
Yep, yeah, so let's start fresh. So everybody, go ahead and put your hands down. I appreciate that from earlier on. But put your hands down right now, and then we'll give you a minute to clear the queue. And then we'll know that way if anybody still has their hand raised that you have a question, and I'll unmute you. Then there's also a section where you can, there's also some a section for questions where I've seen people also put their questions in. So we'll open up for questions now. One thing I forgot to mention, there was a promo code if you want our prepaid hourly plans. There's a promo code called Fall 2016. If you use that, you'll get $50 off by the end of the month for our hourly based program. So let's see what questions that we have in the queue. As we mentioned, there is going to be a recording of this that we're going to send out to you. And also that has the presentation. If you have any questions as well, after the webinar, Ken's provided his email address. You can shoot him a question. You can also send any questions or give myself a call if you have any questions regarding the VA services or just VAs in general. If you need to ask a question, there's also a little dialogue box that you can say that you can send your question to. You know, one thing, yeah, go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, it's in the chat section.
Okay.
But if you click on attendees, you'll see next to your name a hand that's raised. Just click in there, and then when we see it, then we'll unmute you and you can ask your question.
Now, you know, sometimes people ask me about hiring a virtual assistant, and you know, how do I know that the VA is doing a good job, or how do I know that they're working? You know, people are working from home or remotely, and that's one of the things. In you know, with me, I've employed hundreds of virtual assistants, and because I've been in the business so long, I know which VAs are good and which ones aren't, and the ones that do a good job and that are productive, those are the ones that I continue to go to and utilize as a good resource for the company. Those that are not good, you know, just like any office-based worker, if they don't have good attendance, they're not showing up for work, we don't they lose their job and we don't go back to them. And so that's part of, you know, my business is effectively managing a remote workforce, and part of my expertise, and we monitor them. That we've got a screen capturing program. They log in into the system every day, and we see what they're doing, and that's how we manage the workforce productivity. And I've got a core team of customer service reps and an HR person that monitors the work and so forth. So that's one of the, you know, questions that people will ask me is how do you manage a remote workforce? So I don't see any questions right now. If anybody has any questions, let's see, there's something in the dashboard. Let's see, there's a question in the question panel. Okay. So we've got several questions that people have put in. I've got it up on my screen. Let me show my screen. Okay. So I've considered a VA before, but I've been concerned about cost since I'm growing my business in a new direction. I hope you address the issue on what their average cost is per month or week. So yeah, on this program, you know, with the discounted promo code, it's $44 a week, $176 per month with the promo code. That's specific for this Meetup program where we've standardized the work task and we've created a package-based program of something repetitively that a VA can do. If you have two different, let's say you have another type of task that the VA needs to do, we can come up with customized pricing. So you said another person says they've had two VAs out of a program similar to this, but both were not doing well after 6 months, and you went back to doing it yourself. So that's a good thing to bring up. That's from Wilson, and I mentioned about Ken's coaching program, and it's all about what techniques are you doing and having the right talent to do it, because that's really what makes the difference. And when I got stuck on something, you know, we talk about when we're doing our marketing A/B testing. Um, if if you're not doing the right thing, or if you don't have good sales copy, or you don't have a good website, or you don't have a good message, that's really when I turn to Ken to. He can take a look at what's the messaging that I'm sending out to people. What am I doing to try to convert? What's my follow-up mechanism? And that's so much why I value Ken's coaching program. That's a big piece to it. You know, the second piece to it as well is having the right talent. There are certain VAs that will get a completely different result, especially, you know, as an example. Let's say you're doing telemarketing, and there's good telemarketers, there's bad telemarketers, there's people that have a good voice, a good sales skills, there's ones that have a bad one. And that's why, you know, over the years, I've identified what VAs are good, which ones aren't. And, you know, sometimes we don't hire a good person, we let them go, we replace them. But the talent makes a difference completely in the result, and then also what you're doing. Ken, did you want to add, you know, anything to that? I mean, that's really what I've seen kind of with your program is
Yeah, what I would suggest that anybody who takes advantage of your offer to do is they would go on Skype like we did initially, and the best thing about doing all this is the virtual assistant from the East Coast is 12 hours ahead of us. So when she's working at 7 o'clock at night, it's 7 o'clock in the morning here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it's the reverse. When it's 7 o'clock at night Eastern, it's 7 in the morning there. So I'm not on my computer, and she's able to do that. But what I did initially, which I would suggest to everybody that takes advantage of your offer, is to arrange a Skype meeting where you could look at her or join.me, where you could look at the screen as you're showing her the function you want her to do. Or
Yes.
them, if you have mails also of what you want them to do. And this way, and the great part I feel is the daily reports that I get on the number of things that she's doing. So it's effective.
Yeah, and we have another question somebody's asking to pull up the Meetup, which I'll do in a second here. But somebody's asking, can we get an outline of tasks that are included in the packages? The basic thing that the VA is doing is exactly what you've just presented in the presentation, Ken. It's that repetitive task of, well, it's the initial task of if you sign up for the service, one of my project managers, which would be either potentially Karen or May, will call you, find out about your business, look at your website, ask you some questions about what is your avatar, who you're trying to contact, get that information, and then set up your Meetup profile. So there's that initial interaction or setup. That's what's going to occur to get the basic information to set up that profile, which is a little bit of extra work in the beginning. And then it's really a repetitive task of identifying the groups, and we can say, hey, here's the groups that we picked out for you. What do you think? You can micromanage it if you want, or you can just look at what we've selected and go with it. So there is that interaction between you and the VA or the project manager that can occur. And it's that task of joining the different groups and sending messages, and you'll get a report that's going to show you what activity has occurred.
Okay, John,
So
I would suggest bringing up the welcome message so that while we're discussing this, whoever asked the question could be writing down the welcome message itself. And remember what I mentioned before about the social groups. If it's a non-business group, you don't want to talk about referrals. All right, you don't want to talk about referrals.
So I've got the welcome message pulled up here, if everyone can see that.
Now, one of the things I'd like to suggest, John, is as the time goes by, I am constantly thinking of new functions that Marie, my virtual assistant, is doing. So, as the door is always open for additional functions for the VA to do that can be done on a daily basis.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Hmm. And we've got another question here from Thomas, and he says, "Can we use the VAs for other tasks?" This program is specific for the Meetup program, but if you've got other different tasks that you want the VA to do, we can come up with a customized program for you that includes this task plus other tasks. Maybe you want somebody to write content, maybe you want to have somebody do your newsletter or do all of your social media marketing. So we can price that on. We've got hourly based packages for that. This is more of a weekly and monthly type package, but we can customize that, and we do have a program where you can we can work with you. What tasks do you need to do for your business, and identify what VA is going to do that, and come up with a pricing for you. Based on your budget, really. If your budget's $300 a month, $500 a month, we try to look at what do you need the VA to do, and we can do an hourly based pricing, which is, very, very easily much lower than, you'd be surprised. As an example, one of the corporate companies that I was working with, the guy was going to update our website. They were charging our company $100 an hour. Our web design cost is as low as, depending on who we have do it, because some VAs are more expensive than others, but 11, 12 bucks an hour to do web design, to do back end programming and so forth. When we sign up for the VA program, do we get the same VA each month? So generally speaking, the way that we have it set up is there's a supervisor or project manager that's going to oversee your program, but generally they're going to have that same VA doing the same task for you, so that they're familiar with it, specific for this Meetup program.
Yeah, John, let me say something here too.
Yeah.
In the future, in fact, in November, I'm going to be using with John this vehicle of webinars to share at least twice a year new ideas for creating customers. And like in November, we're going to be doing another webinar with another venue for creating prospects. All right? And I'm going to show you another way to get between 12 and 25 new prospects. So at that point, you're going to want to have everything I'm going to be going over and sharing with you over the next 2 years is going to be where you'd want the VA to do it, because you're better off making sales to these prospects. And I'll leave it at that, John.
Yeah, good point. I think we just have a few more questions. Does the VA only provide social media marketing services? No, we have VAs that can do telemarketing calls, that can answer phones, do customer service, can do data entry, can do your website, can do SEO, getting organic traffic. You'll see if you go to virtualassistanttalent.com, there is some hourly based packages that we have, and you basically prepay for a certain number of hours a month, and as the VA works, those hours get deducted from your prepaid balance. You can cancel any time, and the balance can be refunded to you. So that's outside of the this particular program. We do have a program or promotion going on right now that has a different promotion for the hourly based services. If you check on the website, we have another promotion that applies to the hourly package, which is $50 off. It's our fall savings promo code, which applies to our hourly based subscriptions, and it's fall 2016, gives you $50 off. The promo code specific for Meetup, that's good till the end of the month. Let's see. Considered VA before, growing my business. Okay, I've considered a VA before, but concerned about costs. Hope you address that issue. Average cost per month. We can work, Julia, to any budget. So if somebody comes to us, we can work it backwards. I only have a budget of $300 a month for my business. What can I get? And we can work really with any business. That's really one of the reasons that I had started, this business, was to help small business owners, with that. Let's see. I've also been looking at joining Ken's coaching program since he's also led me to the VA. I've been looking at this for a while. I'm learning he's got some valuable coachings to offer. So Ken, he's asking, where do you live?
I live in New Jersey.
All right.
And during the winter, I live on an island called Aruba.
Nice. Yes, get it. Your timing is great. Be in New Jersey when the weather's good there, and be in Aruba when the weather is not so good in New Jersey. So.
True.
So we've got the East Coast and West Coast represented on this call. So.
Great. That's great.
All right. Well, that's all the questions, and we're running over on the webinar. So I appreciate that. If you have any other questions, shoot Ken an email. And if you have any questions, regarding the VA services as well, there's the website, the phone number. We've got Karen. She's one of my project managers, customer service reps, and Isa. They can answer your calls or just shoot me a message. I'll be happy to answer questions as well. So appreciate everybody. And Ken, anything else you wanted to say? I know you got another.
I just want to say, after you start implementing this strategy, send me an email. Let me know how you're making out. Or if you have any questions, send me an email, and I'll be able to lead you along the line. So again, like John's saying, I wish all of you a good day today, and I look forward to talking to you again.
All right. Yeah, thank you as well, Ken, for having me on the call, and I've again learned a lot from your coaching program, and appreciate everybody also on the call. I will make sure we get out to everybody a recording, and I know you got another webinar that's going to be coming up in the next couple months too, probably, Ken. We'll make sure we notify everybody of that one as well. So.
Great. Okay, John and everybody, keep well and take care.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.